Now, there is no doubt that getting a PhD comes with some perks. Now, here are the strangest ones that I have witnessed since getting my PhD and over the past about 10 years. So the first one really is how I feel about myself. Now, it's strange because it has lasted a long time since my PhD. Now, I feel like I can take on any challenge. That is definitely a perk. Now, when I think about what I want to do with my life, what I want to achieve, where I want to go, no challenge seems insurmountable. It feels like I can take on any sort of challenge and just use my training, my thinking, my analytical skills to kind of overcome that challenge. So for example, over the past 2 years, I have been on a mission to grow online businesses, and I've got a few secret ones that I don't talk about on this channel, but I'm slowly sort of like overcoming the challenges. It's just like a PhD where I'm kind of like going, okay, well, this works, this doesn't work. I need this amount of information to make a real decision on where to go next. And it's those analytical skills, those critical thinking skills that have allowed me to kind of progress faster than I think I would have otherwise. One of the strange perks is that I don't even bat an eyelid anymore about doing big challenges like that. I'm like, oh, I'll work it out. The data will reveal to me what to do, and I'll be right in the end. This video is brought to you by my newsletter. Go check it out at andrewstapleton.com.au/newsletter. The link is in the description. When you sign up, you'll get 5 emails over about 2 weeks. Everything from the tools I use to write the perfect paper and more, the TEDx talk that I gave and the podcasts I've been on, and plenty of other tips. So go sign up. It's exclusive content only available on that free newsletter and email list. Go sign up now. One of the strange perks about getting a PhD is the ability to get instant credibility in some circumstances. Now, in the early stages, just after I got my PhD, I find myself dropping it a lot. Like, oh, during my PhD, or, I came to Australia to pursue a PhD, or, oh, that's, Dr. Stapleton, whatever it is. It just got a bit too much for me in the end. But it is a shortcut to getting credibility. People are able to position you in their mind in the social hierarchy of society just by saying, I'm Dr. Stapleton, or I have a PhD in this. Now, that's right or wrong, I don't really know, but it's just a kind of quick hack to allowing people to position you in their mind, and it certainly gives you a certain amount of credibility. Now, I find that this is sort of like most obvious when I go on a flight, because they welcome you on and they're like, oh, welcome, Dr. Stapleton. And you're like, oh, this feels good. I don't use the doctor title much anymore. It's only if I'm using it, in a professional setting or on applications, or, I do want to sort of like invoke those credibility feelings. And it is a little bit of a trick that and a perk that really does work. And until you've kind of felt it and you've witnessed it for yourself, it feels a little bit weird. Now, they say that you are an average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. And I think one of the strange perks of getting a PhD is you are immediately around some incredible people. Now, these incredible people in your lab obviously have similar skills to you. They are often, quite eccentric, and they have plenty of hobbies outside of their PhD or their research. And I found that one of the perks is not only do you sort of like absorb the best bits from everyone around you. Some people are better at analytical stuff, so you kind of absorb that a little bit. Some people are better at communication, so you absorb that a little bit. And you kind of just learn from the best of the best, which is a really nice perk. But one thing that I didn't realize is that obviously the friendships that I've grown during my PhD and my postdoc years, they continue to sort of like bear fruit, so to speak. Now, for example, a lot of my PhD friends and my postdoc friends, they have other interests outside of their PhD, and they're clever people, and they kind of go deep into a subject. So not only do I know them for their PhD or their research, but I also know them because they do this other stuff. So I've had plenty of instances where I'm like, oh, I need to find out more about this thing. Oh, I know that this person really knows a lot about that. I'll give them a call. And so it just gives you the ability to call on not only very clever people, but it also allows you to absorb the best bits, like some sort of weird parasite where you're like, oh yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, a bit of communication. Oh, analytical stuff. Oh yeah, I like that. So yeah, strange perk. I think hanging about with clever people does just sort of like help you shift up as well. Another strange perk is the stereotype that people have about PhDs and clever people allows you to be a little bit more eccentric than you probably would feel comfortable doing anyway. Now, I felt this coming out mostly when I was lecturing in universities. I was able to be that little bit more flamboyant. I was able to be a little bit more weird, a little bit more sweary perhaps than I would if I didn't have the doctor title or the credibility of a PhD. Because, you know, once people position you in their mind as the PhD or, you know, the person who's clever or whatever, then you are able to sort of draw on the stereotype of being a bit more quirky. And I like that. You know, like I felt as if my true personality could come out because I didn't need to prove myself in terms of, you know, I need to look a certain way or be a certain way. You know, the PhD kind of sorts that out for you. And then you're able to kind of, yeah, just be a little bit more weird and eccentric and you feel okay with it. And it's almost expected. Like when you think back to the lecturers that you've had, like I remember, you know, from my instance of the little quirky professors, and I kind of liked it. They were kind of adorable in their own little way because they were eccentric in a certain sort of like area of their life. And that's kind of cool. And a PhD, I think, gives you a ticket to kind of really let that go. PhDs are brutal. You get feedback all of the time from people that you don't even want feedback from. But what it does is it trains you up to show you that rejection isn't fatal, that it's not the end of the line if someone doesn't like your work or they don't agree with you in a certain way. And I feel like that is one perk that a PhD gives you is, you know, the long-lasting legacy of not really caring about rejection. Now, don't get me wrong, it still hurts. It's still a little bit of a pain deep down inside, but you've kind of battle hardened yourself. You've kind of built up the calluses in your mind so that you can just go, oh, okay, well, that's just their opinion, or, you know, that doesn't really matter. I'll move on and just try, you know, this thing, or maybe I'll take a little bit from what they said. Maybe there's a little bit of truth to that little bit of pain deep down inside, which normally there is. If you know, if something's not true, you don't generally feel a little bit of a pang of pain, you know? So you do kind of learn to accept rejection, take what you can from it and move on. And you realize that people have opinions, that everyone, especially in academia, will tell you about their opinion, you know, whether or not you want it. And that legacy just lasts for a very long time. I'm many years past my PhD now, but if someone doesn't like what I do, I go, oh well, never mind, I guess they don't like what I do. But if there's a small pang of truth that I feel deep down inside, it gives me the ability to reflect, adjust, and move on. So yeah, that is a strange perk that is painfully good. So there we have it. There are all of the strange perks about getting a PhD that I never thought would last as long as they have. Let me know in the comments what you would add to that. And also, go check out academiainsider.com. That's my project where I've got my ebook, The Ultimate Academic Writing Toolkit, which has got loads of great reviews. And people keep on reaching out to say how they've actually written their first paper using that ebook. And that's incredible. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. So go check it out there at academiainsider.com. It's got my insider forum as well. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.